Alright everybody, August 14th, garden update, zone 3B. I've got a lot of tomatoes going. I'm actually starting to see some color on some of them. A lot of issues with it. I'm guessing it's leaf spot. I've just been doing a lot of pruning to try to get these, clear, but they just kind of keep coming up. I did spray with baking soda and really didn't help. But then again, it could all just be the normal cycle of these particular tomato plants, because I see it seems like it's the determinants that it's happening to, so maybe they're just dying off. And some of these cherries here, these may be a determinant type of cherry. I don't really know, but I'm managing it. There's a lot of foliage, so I keep trimming it back, and that might be causing it too. I got a lot of plants packed in here, but that's the status of the tomatoes. Well, there's quite a few here. Looks like I'll have a lot of Romas and a lot of cherries. And I think these ones that are kind of bigger here, I'm starting to see some yellow up top, so I think these are the Taxi OG. I've had a lot of the bottom rot out of it as well. And I just keep chucking those tomatoes, because you just let them grow. It's just taking energy from, like here's one here. I mean, that's no good. It's not going to do any benefit to leave it on there. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that one going to be yellow or red? So I have to see how it plays out. Peppers, y'all. Look at this. All these Anaheims are just amazing growing out. I've already taken so many. These ones, I think these are some sweet bells buried in here. I don't know exactly what I should do with these because they're really getting no light. I've kind of pruned here and there, but I knew there'd be a lot of peppers in here. That was kind of the point. Just wanted to see what I could get out of it. So far so good, but I don't have any bell peppers actually. Just jalapeno. The Anaheim, and then I think these are, I forget what those ones are called actually, but yeah, these ones. And then the eggplants are doing phenomenal. I've got lots of them everywhere. The Asian and then the regular type. Let's see if I can just get a video of one of these bad boys. Yeah. So far, here's some of the spaghetti squash that I've harvested. I think I must have given away just about that many already too, and there's just so many more coming. This is such a great spot for these. They just love it. No melons though. Got a few acorn squash. I don't know if you can see that one or not. Little bugger there. There's another one over here kind of buried in there. Got a lot of zucchini, both colors. I think the ones that I planted were Black Beauty and the yellow. So yeah, they've been really popping. I wish I had more yellow zucchini, and I thought I planted just as many yellow as the Black Beauty, but it turns out I didn't. So I don't know if that was a mistake in the seed packages that I got, or if it was my mistake, but you just kind of never really know what you're going to get when you plant. And after putting this fence up around my cherry tree, it looks like it's coming back pretty good. I'm actually surprised how well it's come back. A deer basically just destroyed it. And this fence seems to be working, so I'm happy about that. Looks like it'll be fine for next year. Lots of basil. My trimming of the lettuce just hasn't bolted at all, which is great. Keeps coming back, which I love, because the lettuce, is something that for the past few years it seemed like I would only have it for one growth, and then what I would do is tear it out, and I didn't realize you could just cut it and then it would come back, which this year has proved to be absolutely correct. I've had lettuce after lettuce after lettuce. Oh, the spinach, a lot of my replant of it died. Right when it came up, it seemed to die, and now I'm looking at some of these and they're not looking too healthy. I think I'm going to try to put a little bit more seed in the ground for spinach. We've got a lot of hot days coming up over the next 2 weeks, which really surprises me. I was kind of thinking summer would be over, but we're having a tail end heat wave here. Kale, BT, really helped out saving the kale. All this is beautiful. Been eating a lot of that. Green beans are just great. Green, purple, and white beans, I guess. And the carrots, a lot of these are just dying off. And if you see what is buried underneath, they're so tiny. Could also be due to the fact that I planted carrots in the same spot for 3 years in a row without really altering or rotating it. But I don't know, the carrot harvest isn't going to be that great this year, I'm pretty sure. Beets are doing pretty good though, but there is this same sort of pattern that's happened on the tomato leaves, where they get these spots and then they just kind of wither, but it really doesn't seem to have affected the beet production because they look really good. And I noticed too that it mainly is affecting only the rose beets and not the dark red ones. Their dark red ones don't really seem to have that, at least not as much. So kind of interesting. And the corn, it's just so beautiful. And look at some of these. Look at when the silk starts to turn rusty colored like that. Oh, here. That means it's pollinated. Here too. Pollinated. I'm seeing silk everywhere. Which means corn cobs. It's going to be so good. I'm going to have way more corn than last year. Of course, this is probably 5 times more corn than I planted last year. It's not getting as much sun as where I planted it last year, but it's more protected from the wind. And yeah, I'll keep you updated there. Cucumbers are coming along really nice. Got so many of them. It's like cucumber salads and cucumbers on BLTs and cucumbers this way, cucumbers that way. It's all I'm doing is eating cucumbers, which isn't bad. It's great. They're delicious. I haven't done any pickling, but I may yet. And lots of cabbage so far. I put it all to use. I've made some sauerkraut and a lot of stir-fry dishes with it. Some of these bigger ones I've already pulled out, and there's still quite a few yet. Here's a real big one here, which will be great. I think once all these are gone, it'll make room for me to plant garlic. And the Brussels sprouts, they're starting to form. Let's see here. And I'm not really sure about the broccoli or the cauliflower. I don't really see what they're doing yet, so I'm guessing it's just so hard to tell. They all look the same. And lastly, my onions are pretty much all laid down. I've been pulling them out and letting them dry out. Should have all my onions ready to go for making salsa and stewed tomatoes once the tomatoes start to turn. But the peas are pretty much history. I think next week I'll be tearing these out. These will all be dead by then. And then we'll make like some dehydrated pea, like wasabi peas. Those are always really good. My wife makes a lot of really good snacks with this stuff. But yeah, one of my coworkers was talking about how their peas are just kind of really going good now, where mine are at the end of their life. And I don't really know how to explain that, but I planted mine super early. But you'd think they'd just keep growing and growing, and they did seem to die off a little early. I'll definitely have them somewhere else next year. You live and you learn. That's gardening. I just wanted to show some of my harvest here. Here's some zucchinis, cucumbers, some cabbage, some beets there, some more zucchini and cucumbers. Here's a jar of sauerkraut that I'm making. Hopefully it turns out. So all kinds of things you can do with your garden stuff.